So we program and control. As a small biz pro, so we grow. Using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Business Zone with Coach Gilbert Buchanan
and Coach Christo Mitchell. Welcome, everyone. Glad to be here. Another wonderful Friday, fall Friday, a little overcast today. In fact, I think it's got a little humidity. You know, when you get to a certain age, you can tell how much humidity is in the air by the aches and pains in your
your
knees.
joints start hurting. Oh my Lord.
So I went to take a step this morning, like, okay, what's that new pain?
You know, it's amazing, man. Folks our age is like when you wake up every morning, you wake up, you go, okay, let's see if I'm going to be able to identify a new pain that I never had before.
And so you remember when you were a kid and your mom and your dad, you know, they were like, oh, ouch, ouch. What is wrong with you, right? So
You
now I
know,
fully understand. I fully understand.
man, I used to laugh at my mom, man. I used to think it's funny, when she, ow, I used to be laughing, thinking it's funny. And now I'm going, man, I wish I wasn't laughing then. Because,
Right, exactly. So you're either being paid back.
oh, yeah, it's big. It's payback big time, man. Payback big time.
So now I completely sympathize with my mom when she had her aches and pains because it's a new ache and pain every day,
Oh yeah.
every
Oh,
day.
yeah. For those of you who are just tuning in, you are watching live the Business Zone with Coach Crystal Mitchell and Coach Gilbert Buchanan. We've been in the business for over 30 years each. And
Yes.
we know pretty much everything about everything. So we can share some information with you that will make you go, huh? so so our series today, which we started last week, it's called Entrepreneurship, Love, and Your Relationship. So in other words, what we're trying to do is to show folks how you can balance your life as an entrepreneur with your relationship with your spouse or your mate, your family, and love. Most of the times we separate those things. We either focus on the business or we focus on the relationship or we focus on the romance part of it, but something gets to suffer. And today we're going to show how they can all coexist together as entrepreneurs. So I'm sure
Exactly.
I'm sure my co-host has some pointers she can share with you as well. And many of you out there are probably going, yeah, I've got a few pointers. If you got a few pointers, guys, go ahead and type it in the chat, and so we can share it with the world. Okay?
Exactly. And Gilbert, I think, just like the whole entire world, when we were in the pandemic, we really began to recognize what was important to us and how we had to eliminate some things that really wasn't quite benefiting us as a people. And because we were isolated from friends and family and things that kept us distracted
That's
prior
true.
to the pandemic, right? Before the pandemic, if you were bored or what have you, I mean, you just worked 24/7, first of
Yeah.
all,
Yes.
and you were focused on, the money and all that. But then, I don't know, for many of us, the pandemic kind of opened your eyes to
Oh
say, wait a
yeah.
minute, there has to be more to life than
Mm-hmm.
just this, right? Just getting up, for those of you that are going out to an office, or for those of us that were already working remote, there's more to just having your coffee, having no one around. When you have these great, wonderful experiences that are worth sharing with someone, you turn around and go, "Oh yeah, babe. Oh yeah, there ain't no babe."
That is so true. That is
Right.
so true.
So Gilbert and I both thought that this would be a excellent series to have, because I'm sure he and I are not the only ones that have focused so much on our businesses, that our personal lives have probably suffered a little bit because of it. And it's great. Our businesses are successful.
Yeah.
Um, our programs are successful, but there
Hmm.
is more to life than that. So that's
Oh yeah.
one, balancing our business, our loves, our relationships makes us I think, a better business person, a very more successful in life all the way around, not just in one or two areas, but maybe trying to create that balance. That's what I
And
think.
as an entrepreneur, man, as an entrepreneur, it excites you when you win a contract, or you obtain a grant that you can share it with your loved one to say, "Hey, man, I just got a contract today for $500,000 or $1 million," right? and
Right.
and and your spouse or your mate get to share that excitement with you. It's just a great feeling. But sometimes when you focus in one area much more than you do others, then you get that excitement and you don't get to share it, or the person in your life isn't really as excited as you are. So here you are, want to tell somebody, but you really can't. So these
Right.
are things as entrepreneurs is very important to us, and we need to start seeing how we can foster a type of growth and relationship that way.
And also, Gilbert, that person in our lives, that mate in our lives, they've had to make some sacrifices, right?
Oh yeah.
So even though, this big beautiful here is the prize at the end of that, right?
Yes.
But they really haven't been included in the journey up to that.
Right.
So all they felt and all they know is, wait, I've been excluded all the way up to now. Now you want to include me? Right, exactly.
That is
So
true. That is true.
right, exactly. And, and I know for me, when I first ventured down this entrepreneurial pathway, um, and I think I've mentioned this before, and I was dating individuals that were not in this space that I'm in, and they're like, wait, you don't get up and leave to go to a job? Wait a minute. Wait. You have all this free time. What are you doing during all this free time? You at home?
They don't get it. They don't get it, man. They don't get it. You know what I was saying yesterday to myself, Crystal? I was saying, I would love to just take a nap during the day. I would love to take a nap, but I can't because I have so many things going on. You got clients calling me here. This client needs a proposal. That client needs to be certified as a minority or a woman owned business. This other client over here wants to do certified payroll or the labor compliance or something. They need training, they need some kind of coaching. I don't have time. I don't
You
have
don't have
time.
right,
So
because unlike work, unlike going to an office, so there's very set times during the day, right?
yes,
You
yes,
got to be to work at 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock, whatever that is. So
yes,
when you get up in the morning, that you're getting dressed to go there. Your
yes.
business haven't overflowed into your morning, because
No,
your business doesn't start until you actually get to your office, right? Uh,
exactly.
and then when you get there, there's time frame, a very specific dedicated time for lunch.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, exactly.
Take
A
a break.
to take a break and to go home. But in the entrepreneurial world,
There are
there's
no
nothing like
breaks,
that.
no lunches, none of that. You got to try to set special time aside for lunch, and sometimes you sit down for lunch, and there's a client calling you right there.
Right,
Oh, I've
exactly.
got an
Demanding.
issue. I've got an issue. I need my database system set up. It's like, oh man.
Right. And your day is, our day is for me, our day is dictated by our calendar, right? So these are
Yes,
the
yes,
times, and in between there, you're going,
yeah,
okay, I can get a little work done. Because when we're coaching and clients and talking to
yeah,
clients, we're getting the physical work done,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
We're dealing with the client, so we don't get
yeah,
the physical work. We have to actually set up a time to say,
yeah.
okay, this day is the day that I actually do the work. Write the notes, do the this, do the that. So no, it goes on from whatever your time frame you wake up in the morning to the time you go to bed. And I have had to actually, and I know you work all night sometimes, but I have found if I don't cut that off at 11,
Yeah,
11:30, 10
yeah,
o'clock, I can't even sleep. My
that's
brain won't
true.
slow down. So I've had to, like, okay, I do nothing after 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Hmm.
I just shut the computer down. I don't care if I haven't finished it or not, because if not, it's now we're infringing on our person. We have no
Right,
personal time. So
right.
that's some of the challenges of being who we are. And so it's very deliberate. We have to be very deliberate about claiming space and time for personal. So
I totally
that's
agree. I totally agree because I see lately, you and I, we've been really focused on setting aside time to do me stuff, to
yeah,
have breakfast, to have lunch, to take a break or something like that. Because prior to that, we never did that at all. We just keep going,
we
going,
never
going,
did that.
going, going, try to solve problems for small businesses, try to solve problems with the agencies that we work with, try to solve problems with chambers, trade associations, and it's just unbelievable. It's never ending. So, as we are launching this show that is called Entrepreneur, bringing a balance to entrepreneurship, your relationship, and love, we're seeing, and we've done a lot of research on this, we're seeing that there are strategies and techniques that entrepreneurs will need to employ that will make things work more meaningful and more manageable for them,
Yeah.
and have their mates and their family members subscribe to those same philosophies. Otherwise, it's going to be miserable for us as entrepreneurs. We're going to get that $1 million contract and we won't be able to enjoy it.
Exactly, because you didn't work so much. Greg is on. He hasn't popped in on the other. I don't know where he's watching on Facebook, but he hasn't popped in on our chat yet. But Greg and I,
Okay.
Greg Sneed, our a
Our
correspondent,
field, our field
our field.
correspondent.
He and I, he and I were talking about this yesterday. We were saying somebody, I know one of the organizations in the community was having an event, and so we had gotten a call earlier that day to ask us were we coming. So Greg reached back to me later on the afternoon after the community briefing, and he said, "What you think?" I'm thinking, I'm saying, I'm thinking I don't want to get dressed. he says, he says, I know the COVID that made us lazy. He said sometimes I don't even want to shave. I said, yeah, I said, I'm a pass.
I'm telling you, man, that face-to-face meeting, I don't really do that much anymore. Right now, I'm very comfortable doing a Zoom meeting with a client or a strategic partner. I'm comfortable getting on the phone, speaking to folks. I don't want to meet anyone. I don't want to be in the same space. No.
But remember, before the pandemic, we had events all the time, 2 and 3 and
Yes.
4 a week, right? And
Yes. Yeah.
having to
And we
be here,
loved it.
having to be there, and we
We
loved it.
loved
Didn't
it.
even didn't think anything about it, right? Getting dressed, putting on heels, all that stuff. Now, for me, if there's not a sponsor on the other side of that, then
Yeah.
I need to be wooing. I don't know.
Exactly,
So
exactly, man. So, for those of you who are just tuning in, you're viewing the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, Coach Crystal and Coach Gilbert. We've been on the air since 2016, and we provide valuable resources and services to small business, to the small and micro business community. We provide assistance in helping small businesses to become business ready, contract ready, loan ready, and certification ready. As well as if you have a nonprofit, we help you to be nonprofit ready as well. So we've got a wide array of resources that we can help small businesses with. Now, we know quite a few small businesses who also want to launch a nonprofit. They don't really know how to go about it. Now, we have an assessment, guys, that you can take. You can take this assessment to let you know whether you're nonprofit ready or what you need to do to get ready for a nonprofit. So all of these things are resources we provide here on the Business Zone. Now, my coach, Crystal, she is phenomenal. She is an amazing bookkeeper. She does forensics on your accounting, folks. She does forensics. She got those numbers. She got them talking together. She interviews those numbers and said, "Hey, what's going on? How come you are not relating to that number over there? Your balance sheet, your profit and loss, what's going on?" So she's phenomenal. Our clients love her, folks, and you really want to reach out to her if you want to have an expert looking at your balance sheet, your financials, your books. And Coach Crystal, you've been in this industry for quite a while, aren't you?
I have. I've, been there almost 30 years, and of course, my business is always evolving. Probably in the early part, I did more physical accounting, bookkeeping, and accounting of a client's files. But now I'm more, as you said, more into the forensics parts and more into making sure that the client understands their books, understands their money, understand how it comes in, how it goes out, as opposed to me. And one of the things I found, Gilbert, that when they're actually doing their own books, especially if they're smaller before they start to grow,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're much more in touch. And here's an example: when you grow so big and you turn all of your financial operations over to a whole team of other people, right? Your accounting department. So I don't know if you've heard this week, Tyler Perry fired his whole entire accounting department
Oh no, I didn't
because,
hear that.
yeah, he fired all of them, and not for the reasons that you think. He fired
Mhm.
them because the IRS uh, is providing him with a refund of close to $900,000, I believe it is.
Wow.
So he had overpaid into the system.
Also, his thing is, hey, why did I overpay? What were you guys doing? What were you
Well,
guys
yeah.
doing?
What happened? Why is that, right? So
Yeah.
so you would think, okay, wait a minute, it was one thing you having to pay, but wait, I'm never supposed to overpay. So
Overpay. Exactly.
something happened.
Yes.
And so he said, oh no. So he fired his whole accounting team because he could not
Wow.
understand,
Yeah.
why am I paying um why am I being refunded money?
Yeah. 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 I
Your
would do the
job is,
same. I would do the same thing, man. I would do the same thing.
yeah, so he was not a happy camper, but nor he should he be. So that's, yeah. Actually, his audit ended up in a $9 million refund.
9 million. Wow. So,
9 million.
this was over a period of time, right? Like multiple years. I'm assuming.
Let's see. Let me see if I read about it. I just heard about it. He said allegedly he had almost $9 million during his 2022 Earn Your Leisure. He revealed that. I don't know over the time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Red flags. It had to be, well,
It sounds.
they don't audit for a long period of time. It's
Yeah.
usually 3 to 5 year
Yeah.
period that they're going to audit you. And if you're at that stage where you have to have audit financials, it's usually, they'll compare it to the previous year. So
Yeah.
in the last 2 to 3 years, this
Yeah.
is the problem.
Yeah. See, I would be upset too, and I also would fire the staff too, because our goal is to pay the minimum tax required by us as entrepreneurs. And
Right.
then if we find out that we're overpaying, and somebody is taking our money and investing that and getting interest on it, and then now telling us here's a refund of your only your money, not the interest, just your money, then yes, I'll be upset too. So
Right,
yeah.
exactly. So that's one of the things that I really like to stress to my clients, that you're the money maker, right? It's
Yeah.
your business.
Yeah.
So you need to know how your money's coming in, because I can process, or a bookkeeper or anyone that's qualified and efficient and good at what they do, they can go through the processes of making sure your transactions are posted to the right chart of account, and the money, tracking the money coming in and the money going out, right? But
Mm-hmm.
only the unless you're working in the company itself, only the person that is generating the expenses or running the business really knows what are the expenses that I truly need versus the
Right.
expenses that are coming through my account. Maybe I don't
Right.
need all of those. So only you, especially when we work at small when we're small
Mm-hmm.
businesses, every dollar counts. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you're not running a lean operation,
Yeah.
that could be very detrimental in meeting payroll
Right.
and other commitments, financial commitments that you are required to meet. So that's why I start focusing more on making sure that the owner of the business understands their books versus just farming it out to someone and assuming that they understand your whole practice. No one, unless you're in that business, can actually understand that but you.
And that's why I said, just the fact that they let this slip for so long, now the IRS use your money to gain some interest on it, and you have no say so in it. You see what I
Right.
mean?
But
That
look what,
means that
and
that
$9 million is a lot of
yeah,
money. I mean, he could have
that's money.
that's
Yeah,
significant.
yeah, that's money you could have used to do some other things, some investments. So yeah, I would be upset too, man. And that's part of what we do here on this show, the Business Zone, folks. We help you to look at things differently. We don't want you to look at things like everybody else is looking at it. We want you to start looking at it, you know, we want you to take a 360-degree look at your business, look at the marketplace and the industry, and that includes looking at your competitors and your peers in the industry. So
Exactly.
that's what Coach Crystal is talking about, man. You guys got to be on top of it.
Got to be on top of your business, every aspect of your business, and if that's not your strong suit, you can learn. Everyone can learn, right? But
Yeah,
as I was telling somebody the other day, they were saying, Crystal, how do you make financials and accounting and bookkeeping sexy? I said, man, it's money. It's the money coming in your business. How much sexier can that be? And he started laughing at me, like, yeah, it's the whole reason you're in business, right? You're in
yeah,
business because you want to make sure that you're making the money your best possible way for you,
yeah.
um, and being able to be used when you need it, um, for your operations of your business. So that's
Right.
kind of where I go with all of this stuff. So
So we got some pointers we want to look at today, huh, Coach Crystal? And
we do. Go ahead. I'm
and
sorry.
and some of these pointers is going to help us to understand why, as an entrepreneur, it's good for us to have a good relationship with our spouse or our mate, but at the same time, that mate and spouse and family members also need to try to have a good relationship with us as well, because both of those put together will help us to thrive. It will help us to have a good interdependent relationship and just be more successful at what we do.
Exactly. And I think, Gilbert, so even in what we were just speaking of last night, just now, sometimes we are so overwhelmed with the capacities of what we have to do within our business, that because we don't take a break, So we do overlook things, and
Yeah.
we are overworked and overstressed and all the overs that you can find. So
Yeah.
that's another reason that we felt it was very, very important that we had this conversation, and about, how do we find that balance between the love, between the business, and building really healthy relationships.
Relationships.
um
Right.
so we thought that, and this is leading up to a month, and a series. So
Mm-hmm.
in the upcoming weeks, we have a number of guests coming on that's going to, single guests that's going to talk about their trials and tribulations of actually finding that mate that understands, and understands the unique behaviors, patterns, and traits of us as entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to talk to some couples that actually have figured out the secrets to not just having a healthy relationship and a healthy marriage, but also have figured out how to work together in the same business. Uh,
Yes. Yes.
and, and maybe that's
And
the
and
secret.
and coexist. Coexist.
And coexist at the office and at the home. So, but before we can get to that place, for those of us that are looking for that healthy balance, Gilbert and I wanted to talk about some uniqueness to being able to do that. So, for the person coming in to, well, first of all, let's talk about why we even need this, right?
Yes.
So we've done some research, and basically, do you even need to have a healthy relationship? Is it important to us to have a relationship? And how does that actually help us in our business space?
And the thing about having a good relationship with folks, even your employees or your peers in the marketplace, or even with contract providers, you don't want to take habits, bad attitude with you to the workplace, and reaching out to strategic partners, contract providers, and transferring that negative energy, that negative vibe onto them, because that could really, really cause you to lose a contract. It can lose you to lose a customer. It can cause you to lose a lot of opportunities, as well as money in the mix. So understanding, and many people will see this, that if you're having a bad relationship, let's say you wake up and you're not feeling well in the morning, right? That energy
Hmm.
is carried over when you're speaking to someone on the phone, when you're speaking to a client. And a lot of our clients really need our help because they need our guidance. And some people see that as a bother. So they may get irritated by that. And if you're in a bad mood, you're not doing very well because your spouse is not, or your mate is not understanding certain things about your business, why you're doing certain things in the business to help to make it grow. You can easily transfer that over onto your client, and that may not be good for business. You may even carry that over to a contract provider. That may not be good for your business. So, folks, we really need to check those things: our enthusiasm, our dedication, generosity, all of those things. And we talked last week on this show, Crystal, about values, how our values need to be in sync with the entrepreneur's value, as well as his partner, as well as someone close in your circle, how those need to be in sync in order for you to operate in a very positive way in the marketplace or in the business.
Exactly. So, making sure you're in not, so balance means making sure you're in the right relationship with the right person
Mm-hmm.
that's going to really help enhance you on all levels, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
as you just said, if you're in a bad one, then it's going to be reflective in your day-to-day life and
Mm-hmm.
how you do business, and could actually hinder the success of your business. I know I have a friend of mine. He's no longer with us on this planet, but I remember he really he was a psychologist, and he was really, really, really into his business. I mean, just loved every aspect of helping and serving and and counseling. But he was when he was going for his licensure, he was in a really bad relationship. They just could not sync it together. And every time he went to go study to get his license, it was like that was a trigger for the relationship itself, and it would just, they would just blow up. The wife would be counterproductive to him being able to find the peace that he needed to study in order to get his license. And he would spend all that money. When you're doing your professional licenses like that, you actually spend money in order to get the training or get the the, what do you call it, when they go to those review things. And he was spending thousands of dollars to make that happen, so that he'd be better prepared for the exam. Right. Every time, just the week before he was supposed to take the exam, it would be all, it was just like everything fell apart. Right. So of course, when he went to take the exam, he would always fail the exam. So eventually he just gave up. This went on for such a long time. It was over a 4 or 5 year period of time. It was like, I don't know if she didn't want him to, or I don't know what the problem was, but it affected it. So that being said, that there is a special kind of a relationship that really helps you build your life as well as your business, and that you both have to be very supportive of each other and understand what that looks like. And the reason why that's so important is because um a good relationship and a great partner for both male and or female, it motivates you to want to make sure that the future is taken care of, right? That you're not just doing it for you, you're doing it for us, right? That makes a difference. And being able to have open communication really helps you, and where you feel comfortable, where you can have conversations about your bigger dreams. Because that's one of the things about an entrepreneur. We don't think small, right? We think big. We think
big
the
dreams.
whole, and
We got
we
big
have
dreams.
big
We got big
and that's
dreams, man.
And that's what motivates us to keep moving forward. Why?
Yeah.
Right? Because when you're first coming up with your business idea and you have to put it all out on paper and write the business plan, I mean, you're talking about conquering the world.
Yeah.
So
now this entrepreneurial contributor to entrepreneur.com has an article that's written that says, to fully love your entrepreneur partners, you must accept them with all of their gifts and challenges, while also asserting your needs and desires. It also states that entrepreneurs are a unique blend of risk takers, mad scientists, hope addicts, inventors, and magicians. They make incredible partners if you know exactly how to crack the code and unlock their love devotion. Also, if you don't, they can seem like the most selfish, narcissistic, unavailable workaholics you'll ever meet. So that's a little nugget I want to put out there.
yeah, so let me ask you that question. Have you been called any of those?
Oh yeah. They'll call me narcissistic, I'm unavailable, I'm workaholic. Yeah, they'll call me those. But I embrace it. I embrace it.
And that's so funny. Now, I've never been called the names, but I guess in my relationships, they look and go, I don't even think I can compete in this world at all. But of course, without communication and finding out where that person is and what the plan is, especially if you weren't there in the very, very beginning, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't if you weren't sitting down when they were making the plan, and then you come along after the plan has been executed, then yeah, you don't really understand. You don't get it at all.
Right.
But I will say, for everyone, I mean, there's two things I think in life that really really creates the balance and the happiness in us. One, our money is okay. That we ain't worried about money. You are you feel like you're on top of the world. And the other one, I think, is love. I think those, and family, right? And your health. So those are four things that I think are most important to every human being. One, that you got money in the bank, and you're not stressing about who you owe and how you gonna pay them. That's the first thing. And Greg always talks about that. You want to get right with your money, and if your money's a little bit funny, then that's gonna create a real problem for you as a human being when you're interacting with other people, right?
Long-term problem. See, those four things that you just mentioned, co-host, those four things, it spells out the four dimensions that an entrepreneur goes through every day. Because one, you're trying to satisfy your customer. You're trying to make sure the customer is happy. Two, you're trying to satisfy the market. Three, you're trying to satisfy your employees in the business. If you don't have employees, but you have consultants you're working with, you're trying to satisfy that and trying to keep a balance there. And four, you're trying to take care of family, trying to make sure your partner, your spouse, people at home are taken care of also. And we do that balancing act every day where we're trying to satisfy those four dimensions. And it's really, really tough. And as a result of that, that's why they call us all these names, risk takers, mad scientists, hope addicts, magicians, narcissists, all of those things. So yeah. So
I think that's very, very important.
Yes, it is very important.
And
so
I think
once we can balance that, man, it's amazing.
Right. And I think the other part is, if you have someone that's rah-rahing you in the background, someone that you love, and you're working toward a goal for the both of you, it also challenges you to even want to make sure that you're meeting the goals that you guys have spoken about, that you're achieving those bigger dreams. That yes, if you're recently married or what have you, or looking to get married and you want to have families, that you, the husband, and this is the thing that I think is most important when it comes to men. For you guys, more so than us women, and that's it's broad. It's a broad paint of the brush, but however, I think you guys have to feel real settled in order to feel that you can take care of your families, right?
Right.
And so that's one reason
point. That's a good point you just brought up, co-host. That's a very good point, because men are known as protectors, providers, right? We are protectors and we're providers. So as a male entrepreneur, you're thinking it's your job, it's your responsibility to protect and provide safety and security for your family, as well as for your workers, and for the project, for the contract owner who's relying on you to deliver on a project. So all of those things mean a lot to a man in delivering as an entrepreneur. You have to, if you can't do any of those, Crystal, as a male entrepreneur, you're failing. You are failing. You see what I mean? So yeah,
right.
Yeah. So I see where the pressure and all of those things can come from.
Yeah. And so when you're not feeling that you can do that, and I, as an entrepreneur, obviously business is very cyclical, and you can have, some high highs and some very, very low lows. And so if you feel that at that point, and I don't know I don't know any entrepreneur, but any entrepreneur, that when you hit that bump in the road and it just doesn't seem like you can push past it, that is not a failure, right? That's something that we have to work with, right? That is not a failure, because I know I tell clients that all the time. It's not a failure, it's a challenge. And so your job is to figure out how to get through that challenge and get to the other side of that challenge. But that doesn't mean internally that we're processing it like that.
Right. And also, folks in our lives, our spouse, our mate, or partners, many times those folks unknowingly say certain things that may push an entrepreneur away in a love sense, right? Somehow, some of the words that they use and say, not really thinking about those words, can really come out in the form of pressure to the entrepreneur, judgment, blame, shame. It demonstrates a certain level of neediness, and those things can really affect the entrepreneur in their ability to do their job every day, to be friendly, to be kind, because in the back of their mind, again, like I say, as a male entrepreneur, our job is protect, provide, and secure, all of those things. So when we're hearing things coming from our partners and our mates, like they're blaming us, they're judging us and all of that, it really doesn't sit well. Really doesn't sit well with us at all.
Right, exactly. And then the other thing they talk about in that article is communication. And I think once you learn how to communicate well with your mate, good afternoon, Mr. Gregory Sneed. Once you learn to communicate, sometimes it starts there, right? Because you can bounce things off, because we get caught up and it sounds right to us on one side of the, but if you have someone at home that you can bounce off something that, especially if it's a client that's more challenging than others, and then maybe your mate can help you with that communication or how. So I think being able to communicate well with your mate can really help you really to communicate better in your business relationships as well. Because we've all had trying clients, and sometimes just being able to just vent with the person that you're the closest to, who understands the journey, is can help you go, okay, yeah, maybe I didn't see it from that side, or I'm going to take your suggestion and I'm going to have this conversation versus the conversation I'm about to have.
Right. Exactly. And also, instead of doing the things I mentioned earlier, the shame, the blame, and all of those things, your partner or your mate, can present things to the entrepreneur in a playful, friendly manner. Be playful about what you say to them. Do it in a friendly way, or if you want, you can even try to be seductive about what you're saying to your partner. Sometimes that partner, they kind of miss that, and they need that encouragement, that nudge to say, hey, my partner still feel this way about me. At least I don't feel as if I let her down or let him down, that badly. Humor and kindness. If you can do those things as well to your entrepreneur partner, this will help to go a long way and help them better thrive to be that star that they're trying to be, that trailblazer in the marketplace.
Exactly. So again, it really can enhance your business if you're with the right person in the right kind of relationship, and that's helping to motivate you, helping you to challenge you, helping you even to learn to communicate better if you're learning this at home, and being able to take those same skill sets, because we tend to work more on our personal relationships, especially if we love someone, to make sure that we're communicating, that we're not going to harm them or anything. But as you said, you can then take that and relate that to your employees. In fact, I think when I was working in corporate America, my employers that were good family men or women, more men, most of my employers, the ones that are memorable to me were males. They had good family lives. They really enjoyed their personal lives. They loved their wives. And they had a good home life. So when they came to work, they were a lot happier, and it was easier for us to all for me to be there and for them to treat me right. But the ones that I was with that did not, oh my God. That were not happy in their personal life. Oh my God, work was like they were brutal, just brutal, because they were unhappy. Everything was geared around work, right? And they were unhappy. So you felt it that they were unhappy. So
and you can tell. You can tell, man. You can tell.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. So
So here are 10 things that this writer, this entrepreneurship writer, in this article mentioned or recommend that not being said. Okay, so and I want you to tell me, co-host, if you've ever heard some of these words from your partner, your mate, your family, while you're trying to take on the bacon, or you're trying to generate some revenue. So number one is never say, "Why are you working so much?" That's one of those things that it's like you're stabbing someone with a dull weapon. Why are you working so much? So in the mind of the entrepreneur, they're going, "Well, how am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to get things done?" So it's always recommended that your partner or your spouse find a different way of saying that. And one way in which it's recommended is, "Hey, love, when will you be able to take your next break? Because I'd love to help you relax." That sounds like a great recommendation to me, right?
Exactly, and do it in a more playful way, and it's like anything, like even with your children, if you come at them in a more not so derogatory type of messaging to them, but a more, "I want to help you relax," then you will be better at doing what you do. But you can take a little break and blow off some steam, and then come back. I'll fix dinner and I'll do this kind of stuff, and just take a few little minutes, and but not in a way that it sounds like you're accusing me of doing something that I need to do in order to make sure that we reach our goals, right? That I can take care of my family. So it's all about the words, right?
Oh, yes.
All about the words.
All about the words
and how you use them.
No one want to feel like they're being indicted by their partner. When you ask certain questions that seem indicting, like, "Why are you doing this?" Why I'm doing this. I'm doing this so I can pay the mortgage this month. I'm doing this so you can buy that dress that you need to go to this wedding with your friends.
Right, exactly. Or we can take a vacation, or we can plan for the children, or we can make sure we take care of our parents. And these are the things that we've both talked about that is very important to us. So this is why I'm working. So that's I've heard that. In a different way for me, it's like, wow, mine's are always like this. "Wow, you're super busy, aren't you?"
Exactly.
and what you're really saying is, "I don't see where there's any room for me in this at all."
Right. That is so
that's
true.
how I hear it. It's like, well, that's how
so
they
true.
hear it.
Yeah.
So but that's the same thing. Here, number two.
Yes.
You've had this idea like for 10 years, and it ain't gonna it don't look like it's gonna ever come about. Well, talk about kill a dream.
Oh, Lord, Debbie Downers.
And something takes that long. I mean, look how long it took you to Small Biz Pro, from
Right.
planning to actually getting it launched and executed, and you're still working on it,
Still
and it's
working on
not.
it. 15 years. 15 years. 15
Yeah,
long
right.
years, man.
Yeah, so it's like it basically what you're hearing is, why are you wasting your time? You ain't
Yeah,
had no results in 10 years.
exactly. You need to give up on that.
That's what you're hearing.
Yeah.
But so a better way of saying that is, I'm impressed that you can implement an idea while taking the risks and stress with it with grace and ease, right? Because over that time frame, there's a whole lot of pieces that go
Oh,
along
yeah, a
with
lot of
that.
challenges. A lot of challenges, especially when you're in the software business, right? You gotta
Right.
hire these programmers, these developers, these coders, and not all the developers and coders are the same. Some of them come in with an agenda. They want to change your idea. They want to change your programming. They're giving you mediocre work. So you got to keep searching to find the right one. And then when you hear your partner or your mate saying stuff like, "Wow, you had that idea 10 years ago. What happened? Why are you still working on it?"
Right. And another entity that would get that kind of feedback is someone in a nonprofit, right? Because
Yeah,
nonprofits sometimes take a long time before
yeah,
you can get to the right funders and sponsors, and really be able to service a population, because you're in it to service people, right? So
hmm
there are some nonprofits that have been at it and for a very long time, and finally they hit upon that sponsor that wants to sponsor them for 10, a number of years, as opposed to every year you have to go back and apply for your sponsorship. So
yeah,
that's a hard one. As
hmm
in a nonprofit space, oh,
yeah.
that is really hard
That
on a
is
relationship, because you're not making your money is
no,
relying on somebody else.
exactly. And especially if you have a board that's not really in support of you, you know, they're on a different page. It makes it even tougher. It makes it
It
even tougher.
makes it really, really tough. So
Yes,
so that's a
yes.
tough one. The next one, in this economy, aren't customers hard to find? Right? Again, another Debbie Downer. Not understanding that you know who your customer is.
Yeah,
I mean, there's nothing else that you don't know about your business,
right.
is who is your target, and how am I going to
hmm
reach that target market, and what do I need to do in order to get them. If
Right,
there
right.
is nothing else we know, that is the very first thing that you do as an entrepreneur, is identify, one, the problem you're solving, how you're going to
Mhm.
solve that problem, and who are the people that have that problem.
Right, right. And the thing about that also is that once that kind of negativity is expressed, it just really shuts down the entrepreneur, because you go, you know what? I've been working on this for so many years. All I need is a little support from my partner, and I'm not getting that. Instead, I'm getting this shame, this criticism, this blaming. What's going on here? Why can't this person be my ride or die? And that's really what entrepreneurs want. We want someone to be our ride or die partner. Support us.
Yeah.
You know, and just help us to get to the next level.
And here's the thing, Gilbert, if they're really that ride or die person, and they have an extensive network, and they truly believe in what you're doing,
Uh huh.
then they actually, and this is, I think, where some of the confusion comes in. They never say, "Hey, my husband is has this great business," when they're in with their groups, and,
Right.
"Hey, he maybe can help you, so
Yeah.
let me see if I can connect you." It's like, I mean, even friends and family do that. They just kind of
Right.
step back. I mean, how many yeah, Greg said your audio is choppy.
Oh, my audio is choppy.
Yeah, I don't know what
Okay.
it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Um Thanks, Greg. I don't know, because how many family members
Uh huh.
family members actually know what you do, and will go out and tell everybody what you do, right? I tell
Exactly.
my sister that all the time, where there's some family members that has actually, she's a realtor, and there's some family members that have gone and had other realtors help them buy
Mm-hmm.
their home. And I
Yeah.
always go, did they not know you were a realtor?
Wow.
What the hell?
That is so true, Crystal. That is so, I've seen that so many times, and it's really heartbreaking, you know. It's really heartbreaking when your own, and that's why I say this in many of my my presentations and webinars, that you know, when you're an entrepreneur, everyone tells you no. You know, even your own family will tell you no and not support you and speak out against your product or services. So, oh man, that is unbelievable. That is.
Exactly. So, and so that happens. And I will tell you guys, one of the one, I think the top challenge and the top concern of most entrepreneurs is, I
Hmm.
am going to fail,
Yeah.
and I am going to fail my family. So
Yeah.
know that that's already something that they're
Hmm.
feeling, and you don't even have to say that. That's
Right.
something that your audio is sounding better now.
Oh,
Um,
good. Thank you.
you you don't even have to even say that. Greg said, better brother. um they're already feeling that already every time they wake up in the morning, and they're back at the process
Hmm.
again. So a better way of saying, honey, how can I help you? How can I help spread the word,
Yeah.
about our business, not your
Y-
business, our
Yeah.
business.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because if you're married, it's ours,
It's
not just
ours.
mine.
Yep. For
It's
sure. For
ours,
sure.
right? And if
Yes.
you're the girlfriend or you're the boyfriend, and you want this relationship to go to another level, then
Hmm.
you need to be engaged to support that person and
Right.
be their fan, and be able to um refer them. So, my family member now, and it took a long time. I'm going to tell you,
Hmm.
it took a long time for my family uh um it took a long time for them to start referring me over, or now I hear them going, oh, but my sister does that now, or
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
cousin does that, or
Hmm.
let me see if my cousin can talk to you about that. And
Right.
friends are saying, hey, my brother is starting a business, can you help them now?
Right.
And that's been, but I guess it took a while.
Yeah.
Greg said, actually, it's good to get that first failure out of the way, then you realize you can recover and rebuild. You're absolutely right, Greg.
Right.
The inevitable is not the inevitable once
Right.
you've already encountered it and had it, and you know how you've overcome it.
Right.
So here's one I know, Gilbert, you have heard.
Yes.
Number 4.
Yep.
You care more about
Yeah. I heard
about
this.
your business
I
than
heard
you.
this all the time, Crystal. You know, you care more about your own business than you do about me, and it's like you're frozen. You're frozen because you're going, what do I do? What do you mean? What do you mean? You know, you needed money to take care of this. I gave it to you. You asked for the support. I gave it to you. What do you mean I care about the business more than you? You know, it's crazy.
Right.
It is
Yeah,
crazy,
it
man.
it is. So and again, that's that open communication.
Right.
And I think if you actually bring, in some cases, you just let them know, here's my business, this is what I'm doing, let me
Mhm.
share that, when they're open enough to, of course,
Right.
to want to hear that, and that this is not a competition between
Hmm.
me and the business.
Hmm.
That if our relationship is moving to that next level, or we're married, this is our business and not
Right.
just my business. And so it's for us. We have some goals, and maybe that could be one of the ways you deal with that is,
Hmm.
so they were saying, instead of saying that, I know how important this business is and how much time and attention it needs, and it
Yes.
means a lot to me if we could set aside some quality time
Time.
so that
Right.
we can balance it out. And I think that's what we're here talking about,
Hmm.
balancing that so it doesn't appear that that other person is making a sacrifice, but there's no rewards, or the rewards are going to be so far down the line that they're not, by the time you get there, they're done. They don't have the patience to wait for you to get there.
Co-host, I think you have been a lot more supportive to me and my dream, my business idea than any of the mates I've had, because I'm serious, because you said these words to me, which I'll never forget. You said, I love what you're doing with your platform, SmallBizPro. I love it. And I just wish others would experience it the same way too, that I'm experiencing it with you. You said that, and that felt so good. I don't know if I've told you that before, but that felt so good to hear that from a fellow entrepreneur, from someone else who understands the grind, understand what we're trying to do because of the end result we're trying to seek. Because we know how tough it is as an entrepreneur, much less when you're trying to bring about a service for other entrepreneurs, other small businesses. It's just amazing to hear those words. And if more and more of our partners could speak like that, it would be very helpful.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. But again, and Greg says you're right, because we and I are partners. We're business partners, and so again, in our business, your success and how I can help you and how you can help me, and we support each other. But we understand the journey, right? We understand the journey, and I understand how important, especially when you've been working on a program like you for the time frame that you've been working on. It's important to be able to help you, encourage you that, this is, I'm getting from my side a lot of amazing accolades on behalf of the program that you have and how it's helped. So I just want to let you know that you're shut up, Greg. Oh, so sweet. And Greg is a business partner as well. Greg, I'm very excited and making sure that Life a Saver is going to be successful too.
Greg has saying those to us too. So, I know he cares. He really cares about us and other entrepreneurs. So he's very supportive too.
You should have heard the advertisement and the accolade he gave you yesterday, man.
Oh, really? Let me hear it. Oh man! See, I knew he had love for me
yesterday. When we were on the community briefing and we were talking about procurement and what we do, Greg was like it was the best commercial. I couldn't even have done a better commercial.
I hope you recorded it, man.
Right. But that's what's so important. That's why
we love you long time. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate the love and support, man. I really do. As entrepreneurs, though, it's just amazing how a lot of folks, our partners, our mate, they don't understand some of what we go through. Like, for example, with me and my product, I went through the patenting phase, right? And when you're going through the patenting phase, you got two fights that you're fighting. You're fighting with your attorney, who doesn't want to do the job efficiently and do it in a timely manner, and is putting a lot of roadblocks in your way. And you're also fighting with the patenting office, because they're saying, well, this idea is not patentable. No, what do you mean it's not patentable? There's no one else doing this. So now you're fighting those two fights. And then on top of that, you're trying to get it out there, trying to get it released, you're trying to get it to market, and it's just unbelievable.
And no one understands that process, because that's a unique process when you go through that patent process and the amount of money that you put into it.
Oh, yeah.
And all of the details that go into getting that done the right way, and making sure that it's done the right way by whomever it is that you're hired to have done that to you. So, That's a big process right
Oh,
there.
it is. It
And
is.
yeah,
And
yeah. And
some of our mates don't get that. They don't understand that. They don't see that. They don't know what's going on behind the scene. And then when they step in with negative views, it's like, ah, another dagger to the heart. this
right,
is
exactly.
this is when you need a hug. You need a hug and some support.
And here's the thing, when you have a product that you're
Yes.
bringing to marketplace, that's a
Yes.
little different than a service, right?
Yes.
Because a
Yes.
product, you have it in your mind what it's supposed to look like, how it's supposed
Mm-hmm.
to look like,
Mm-hmm.
what it's supposed to do. But
Yeah.
you need other people to help bring that product to market. It's not like with
Right.
my service, the
Mm-hmm.
services I offer,
Yeah.
I design it the way I want.
Yeah.
I teach it the way I want. I present
Yeah.
it the way I want. But with a
Right.
product, you need external supporters. And
Yeah.
here's the thing with external supporter, they gotta see, they gotta be able to take your idea
Yes.
and how you envision it and be
Mm-hmm.
able to develop it the exact way
Right.
that you are relaying it to them, right? So
Right.
there's a lot of communication in that process to get that to be the end result to be exactly how you've envisioned it, right? So
And,
that's
and
different.
and if it's a product that requires shelf space, then that's a totally different fight you got, because now you're entering the market with a product that not too many people know about. Now you're fighting with the big boys and the big girls who have already have shelf space. They already invested lots of money, so they're on top shelf, eye level, so people can see their product. So you're lucky if you get a space in the back where no one is going in the store to see your product. So that's a fight right there that you got to deal with. You got to come up with a lot of money. When I went to Costco and I was talking about having my product, my platform put in their stores, they said, well, you're talking about real estate. I said, what do you mean real estate? Because that didn't make sense to me. But real estate, if you're getting shelf space is equivalent to real estate because you're occupying a certain area, right? They said real
Right.
estate is very expensive, and I'm going, what? What do you mean? So they're saying you gotta pay X amount in order to occupy a certain space. So all of those things you fight with, and don't let the product be perishable. Yeah, if it's a
Right.
perishable product, yeah, which stays on the shelf for a few days, man, you got to get
So
frontline
understanding
space.
how long it, yeah, how long it
Yeah,
does, and when you get into a big box store, all
yeah.
they care about is the end result, the
Oh
revenue,
yeah.
right?
Oh
How much
yeah.
are they going to be able to generate from
Oh yeah.
having that product taking up that real estate,
Yeah,
where they
real
can have
estate.
something more profitable in that real
Exactly.
estate space, right?
Yeah.
So they're really cautious about what that looks like, and they need to
Mm-hmm.
know that there's a real need for that product out there
Yes.
for them to actually sell that, because other
Yes.
than that, it's dead space. And then
Mm-hmm.
what kind of the contract and what that
Right.
means and how long
Right.
does that mean. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's a lot more to it. So
There's
when
a
you say
lot more to it, man.
that you've been working at this for 10 years, it ain't
Yeah.
happening. And
Yeah.
you're like, what?
And a lot of the partners and spouses, they like to say, why don't you just give up on it? That's the worst thing you can ever say to an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur will never give up on their dream. They may suspend it for a while, but they're never giving up on their dreams.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. No, no, because you put too much. It's like giving birth. It's
Yeah.
like literally, this is your baby. You
Yeah.
didn't gave birth to it, and
Yeah.
ain't no way you gonna throw your baby out.
You carry that baby. You carry that baby for 10 years. You
Right.
carry that baby for 10 years. You're going, there's no way I'm giving up on this baby now.
Right. No, because I know the joy is on the other side. It's
Oh,
on its
yeah.
way. And Greg said, honey, I didn't give up on you. True that, Greg.
Exactly. So when they're telling us to give up, we just say, honey, I hear what you're saying, but I didn't give up on you.
Right, exactly. Good response to that one. That's an excellent response. The next one I kind of like. This one is, once you've made it, they didn't bitched about you all along and gave you all
Right.
kinds of kinds of flack, and then
Yeah.
now the money's rolling in, and you say something like, "Why can't I have what I want? We can afford it. We got plenty of money."
Yeah.
We
What do you mean we? You got a mouse in your
we
pocket? after you've been giving me flack for all these years, and all of a sudden it's we?
we got plenty of money. Yeah, right. Okay. So yeah, no. Unless you've been in the trenches,
Yeah.
and you didn't help them get to that place,
Yeah.
in making us the money,
Yeah.
then, and you've been supportive all along.
Right. That is crazy, man.
And then at that point, we can say we got plenty of money.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
But yeah. What about the next one? Why are you stressed all the time? Why can't you relax? Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's something we always are looking for, and that's what we've been talking about from the very beginning. That's why we're having this conversation right now.
Yes,
This topic is
exactly.
very important, is because
Right.
we're always we're trying to relax, right? But again, until we are able to expand out our business where it's just not us, and this is what I tell my clients all the time now, is the ultimate goal for an entrepreneur is to be able to duplicate yourself, be able to build your business and scale your business, so you can now have employees that can take some of the responsibility and and help continue to build a business, but you don't have to be the person wearing all the hats.
Right.
And you can relax, right? That you can go on a vacation and know that your business is not going to fall apart if you're not at the helm.
Right. And it's so amazing, Crystal, that as an entrepreneur, we know certain things that we're not supposed to do and what we're supposed to do, but we tend to throw those to the side and do the unhealthy things that that we feel is going to keep us going. Like, for example, why are you stressed all the time? Why can't you just relax? Relaxation is not on the menu or on the agenda for a successful entrepreneur. It's just not something we're thinking about. That's not what we're thinking about. We're probably thinking about making the next 10 million or the next 50 million.
Right, exactly.
We're thinking about hiring somebody. We're thinking about an employee who's probably not carrying their weight. So now we got to figure out, do we reform them? Do we train them? Or do we terminate them? All of that we got to deal with. A competitor might try to do something. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're as a CEO, you're never without worry. I mean, even when you do get to that place that you are, you still, and so and as Greg said, moving from CEO to owner or owner to CEO, right?
Yeah.
But even when you move from owner to CEO, now there's usually a board in place, right? And there's a much higher scale problems that you
coming
have.
Your way. Much higher level of stress coming your way, man.
Right. So relaxation is like, so that's the goal, is ultimately to be able to walk away and just relax, not stress about your business and how it's generating revenue. Sometimes I think it's actually easier when you have a product-based business, because in a product-based business,
it's more
in a product-based,
it's more tangible, the things you're trying to do. Yeah.
Right. So once you get the product to the marketplace, once you've assembled your team, your suppliers, your distributors, and all that sort of stuff, and it's actually on a shelf somewhere, and and now people can buy it,
Right.
you can breathe a little bit. But then, like what's happened in the last 2 years, then all of a sudden you find yourself, you have supply chain problems, and you're back to the beginning.
See, that's a problem that a lot of folks who are not in the business space or entrepreneurial space don't think about. Because let's say we go back to 2020, one of the biggest problems during COVID was the supply chain system broke down. No one was able to know when we're going to get water, when we're going to get toilet paper, when we're going to get certain product, because they just don't know. So as a CEO, an owner of a business, that's going to drive you crazy, because you go, my customers are knocking on my door every day. They want this product. They want this product. Where is it? And if it's not coming in, they're going to go somewhere else, because customers have no loyalty to you. They really have no loyalty. They'll spend some time with you, and because they like you, but they're not married to you. They'll go anytime they want.
Anytime they want. So there's always things to be stressed about, even once the business has become a very successful product. So you may not be worried about what it was when you first launched your business, but you got some new worries to worry about as long as you're in business. It's not like, and I think that happens more when your mate is working for someone else, because the biggest bulk of the problems are the worries of the person that they're working for, their boss.
Right.
They don't know what those are, right? They just know their job and the stressors that are related in relationship to their job. So you don't really understand until you've learned. And that's why I always tell my students and my clients, especially my students, when we're talking about, becoming an entrepreneur, make sure you go find a job in the type of industry that you want to start that business, because you want to see it not from an employee standpoint. You want to see what that looks like from an employer standpoint. And then, how would you handle those certain situations, and if it was your business. So that's a real important one. And we're going to probably finish up here, Gilbert, is you can't live without your phone. You on it every hour. No.
I've heard that too, man. I've heard that one too. And it's like, sometimes you just don't respond. You just look at the person like, huh? What are you talking about?
I don't have no words for that. Because if I was a doctor, I have the same problem. If I was in an industry that was 24/7, if I was the CEO of the airport, if I was an air traffic controller, if I was a police officer, whatever it was, my phone would be ringing. And so those are right. You just kind of like, But again, it's all about setting a space for that person so that they don't feel that they're secondary. And I think that's really what it comes down to, is making sure that your mate feels that they're a priority. So that you have to take some extra time to make sure that they feel that they're not behind everything else, that they're still part of the picture. Happy Friday, Greg. We're about to close out. So, and this final one, can we take a vacation? I think everyone should figure out a way that they could take a vacation, even if it's a short staycation. And here's for me, I revel in the holidays because my clients are with their families and their friends, and they are not calling me. So that is the perfect time for you to take a vacation, because no matter what you're doing, unless you are in some sort of critical 24-hour type of business, your clients are going to be with their friends and family on a holiday. You
Right.
enjoy your holiday. You establish the same type of schedule when it comes to holidays that they have, and then you can take off for the weekend, because ain't nothing gonna happen, because nobody's doing anything for. So
That's
Christmas
true.
and Thanksgiving, nobody's doing anything. So this is your time to take out time for yourself. So
Right. Right.
uh, I do think you should plan something and make sure that you stay with it and you prepare your clients. As you guys know, I have told each and every one of my clients when I was going on vacation
Hmm.
that, hey, I'm going on vacation.
Yeah.
Y'all need to know that. And I prepared you for it. And so therefore, don't be surprised when I don't respond. So,
That
all righty,
is true.
guys.
Yes. This has been an amazing class and session balancing your entrepreneurship life along with your relational life and your love life. This is just an amazing session, Coles.
Exactly. So here's what we're going next week. We have which is November, we have a relationship therapist or a clinician coming in.
Mm-hmm.
That's her area of expertise. And so we're gonna get some great insight from her. And so make sure you guys come back next week and join in to the conversation. We're going to be doing our marketing all week long so we can make sure everyone's there. We were this
That
part,
that's
our
on the
part one and
4th, November 4th, right?
that's on the 4th, November
Right.
4th, next Friday at 3 o'clock. So come back and join us, guys, and check this video out, 1 and 2. So we were just building up what's the process of what we're trying to achieve with this presentation. And so we can't wait. And we got a number of others. I just got an email back from one of the couples. They will be honored to be on the show, and they're going to give me a time and a date, a date when they're going to be available. So we got some great stuff ahead of us.
Right.
Anything happening for you this week?
Well, this week, no, I'm just taking a rest. I need a break because you remember 2 weeks ago I ran that procurement summit over at the San Bernardino County Airport, and it was a very successful event. We had a lot
Yes.
of great speakers and a lot of participation. And then when I came back to the office, I came back to all these other unattended requests that needed to be taken care of by either a contract provider or client or something. So right now, I just need to relax this weekend, get some sleep. I want to go nowhere. And I'm going to take the advice of what this
Nice.
columnist just said right here.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you're gonna do that, co-host. I'm resting this weekend as well, and I'm hanging out with some friends, and so I'm gonna enjoy. Although I have to get my ballot in for voting, so I do want to close this out with make sure you guys are doing your research on voting.
The
November 8th
candidates.
is so
Yeah.
important on candidates and measures and propositions. It
Hmm.
is very crucial. This is a very crucial election. So make sure. For those of you, if you go over to the community briefing, the show that we had, I just posted the video from that. Greg did us the honor of helping when we did the show. We kind of went through the ballot
Hmm.
and some recommendations. You still have to vote your own mind and your own heart, but it's so important that we get to vote. So voting
Right.
November 8th. And so that's some information that are there for you. One of our colleagues, Emma Maxey, I think she's
Yeah.
having an event where she is having people over to actually go through the ballot together. But
Oh,
yeah,
that's
so that's
great. That is
yeah,
great.
so she's been doing that every year. So just want you guys to know that. Anything else? No, I think that's
Oh, I
it.
think that's
We're
pretty much it. That's pretty much it. We're looking forward to seeing you guys next week, and next week we're gonna have part 3 of balancing your entrepreneurial life, your relationship life, and your love life, and that's when we're gonna have our first guest. and she's going to be amazing. She's going to be phenomenal. The following week, the week after that, which is supposed to be the 11th, we're going to have another guest as well. And that guest is going to speak to us about how entrepreneurs work and what non-entrepreneurs need to do in order to work better with their mate or spouse or partner.
They're offering us some tips, Gilbert. And then we got a
Yes.
couple. I'm waiting for a couple single entrepreneurs out there to give us some of their challenges and
Yes.
experiences. So we can see if they can compare to those to our own. So this
Yes.
should be great. So
And
hopefully you guys have enjoyed it.
And you guys out there who are watching this show, whether you're watching on LinkedIn, you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I just want you to know you can also put your comments or put your recommendation, your tips, your advice in the chat also, so others can get a sense of how they might be able to solve some of these problems that's going on between entrepreneurs and their family and their mate, their partner, their spouse.
Exactly. So with that, we're going to end the show and we're going to see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Happy Halloween to everyone. Please be safe out there. And we will see you all next Friday.
Take care, everyone. See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
All righty then.
Oh, wait a minute. I can't get to the end. Hello, we're still here. Hold on, we're still live. Wait a minute, I didn't run out of juice. I can't even mouse it over. Bye, everyone.
I love this. I love it.
Oh, gee. I can't even end the show.
You are still live, co-host. You're still live.
I know.
Well,
What's happening here? I can't. Oh, it won't let me in. Can you hit it on your side?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit end on my side. Oh, that's the stream.
Can't end it.
Yeah. This is amazing.
Can you hit the end stream?